Welcome to our English lesson. The life cycle of a dragonfly. Now learners, if you look at page 16, it says look at the dragonfly life cycle below, label the stages of the dragonfly in the correct order. Thereafter, write 2 sentences on what you know and remember on each stage. So remember we spoke about 3 stages. The egg stage was stage 1, the nymph stage was stage 2, and stage 3 was the adult stage. So you are going to write 2 sentences on each stage on what you remember about a dragonfly life cycle. Now let's go through our phonic learners. R of rough, T of tough, enough enough, K of cough, pull out plow, dr out drought, B ow bow. Learners, now let's look at punctuation marks. So last week, remember, we did the full stop, the question mark, the comma, and an exclamation mark. So remember we said for the full stop, it shows the end of a sentence. The question mark shows that a question is being asked. A comma joins 2 or more ideas in a sentence or separates items in a series. For example, if I went to the shop and bought bananas, oranges, apples, and strawberries, my comma will go in between the bananas, apples, and oranges to separate the items that I have bought. And an exclamation mark shows strong emphasis or strong emotion. Let's look at page 17 of our work packs. It says punctuation passage. Fill in the correct punctuation marks in the following letter. Rewrite it in the lines below. So we have our letter over here and we need to rewrite it by filling all the punctuation marks in the correct places. So let's read the passage out. It says, Dear Zabby, I have a lot to tell you about my adventures in the dry Namibian desert. We had the rainy season in November to March. We were all very happy when the rain finally came on Wednesday. My favorite fruit tree, called the camel thorn, had almost no leaves left on Thursday. My friend Zuzu and I played in a huge water puddle. We had loads of fun. Love, Zizi. Now we know we need to fill in capital letters, full stops, commas, question marks if they are there, exclamation marks if there are any in the passage. So let's look at the first 2 words. It says Dear Zabby. What punctuation mark do you think will go there? Yes, D for dear will be in capital letters and Z for Zabby will be in a capital letter because dear is a beginning of a sentence, so the D needs to be in a capital letter, and Z for Zabby is a name of a person. We know that names of people start with a capital letter. Today, learners, we are going to learn how to write a letter. If you look at page 23 of your workbook, you will see a similar template like the one on your screen. You need to write a letter to your friend and tell them about South Africa and what we are facing recently. So let's look at how we need to lay out this letter. Remember, you need to do the letter on another page. This is called your draft. You will correct it and then you can rewrite it in your workbook. Now let's begin. The first thing we do is we write the date. So you can see on the screen that the date is written on the right hand corner, top corner of our page. This tells us what day and date this letter was written. The next step, which is step 2, is to greet the person whom you are writing this letter to. Dear Sam, or you can say, hello Sam. The third step is to write the body of your letter, which is broken up into your introduction, your body, and your conclusion. Now, if you look at my template, I have the introduction in blue, which is my opening statement, which reads, I know you were not feeling well last week. I hope you are feeling better. Then I went on to write my body. Now this is where you're going to write what you want to say, the main thing that you want to say. I wrote, I wanted to let you know that my birthday party is cancelled because of the high numbers of the coronavirus infections in our province. My parents said that it will not be wise to invite lots of people as we won't be able to social distance, and that if someone is a carrier of the virus, it will spread to all of us. And then the last section in our body is our conclusion. This is where we are ending off our letter, which reads, I do hope you understand, and I hope to see you soon. Now, learners, remember you need to write it in paragraphs. So your introduction will be your first paragraph, your body will be your second paragraph, and your conclusion will be your third. Now we've written the main parts of our letter and we need to end it off. So we need to write our closing, which is lots of love, your friend, and you write your name. Learners, let's recap now on our steps. Step 1 is to write the date. Step 2 is to write our greeting as to whom we are writing this letter to. And step 3 is to write the body of our letter, which is broken up into 3 parts, which is our introduction, our body, and our conclusion. And we must not forget to do our closing, which is lots of love, your friend, and write your name so your friend knows who you are and who he got this letter from. Learners, let's read our instruction for the letter again, which says, write a letter to your friend and tell them about South Africa and what we are facing. You can choose to write about what we are facing in our country, which will be either the COVID-19 pandemic and the third wave, or the recent unrest that we have faced in our province, where people were looting and damaging our malls and community. This brings us to the end of our lesson.